Hi, I'm Adriana Monique Alvarez, the founder and CEO of Alma Publishing, and I'm so excited to be with Jocelyn Chong today. Hi, Jocelyn, how are you?
I'm really well, Adriana. Thank you so much for hosting and facilitating this conversation.
Absolutely. So, first off, tell us where in the world you're joining from.
I am joined from sunny Melbourne, Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere. So I'm
I,
a day ahead of my friends in the US.
yes, so it's actually Thursday for you, and it's Wednesday for me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I when I wake up, I always check in with Jocelyn so I know what I can expect. What kind of day is this going to be? So I love it. Now, Jocelyn, I know that you have this incredible extensive career in finance. You've had a podcast, you're partnering with a book. Um, and I want to first start off with how we met. Yeah. So how did this all come about? I'm trying to remember because I remember you reached out, but the funny thing is we met kind of virtually, right? So walk us through that.
So the very first time I heard you speak was you came to speak about a title called How to Monetize Your Book. And that was my first book. That was in September last year that I was about to launch. And you were a guest in that Facebook group. And I was crossing the road coming back from a walk down the beach. And I'm like, whoa, this is a lady I want to get to know more. Because what you said was injecting so much truth. And we know that, when we first write our stories, we don't know what to expect. And not only did you address that, you also addressed about how to monetize it. Because my goal at the time was just write the chapter to allow my story to be out there. I didn't think any more than monetizing the book or anything more than, what would people think. It was more like, I just want to trial this experiment for myself because I was in the lockdown and how can I maximize my time last year? So that was my goal. But when I heard your voice and you said so many nuggets of wisdom, I signed up to join your email list. Then,
That's what happened.
yes. And then I did a master class that you offered about Gold Goddess. I was like, this is really fun. And that's how our journey started.
Yes, I remember now. Okay, Gold Goddess, yeah. And this is the thing. This is what I love is that you never know how you're going to make a connection, right? And this is why it's so important to put yourself out there, share your story, teach what you know, because things like this very relationship can happen. And yeah, I remember you were, on the list, you'd come in and out of different sessions, and then you were in Uncensored, Untamed, Unleashed, yes?
Yes. And so
Yes.
I thought about the title, and when you sent the invitation, the first thing that really popped out for me was I love the graphics. That was
Mm.
like, that caught my eye. And I'm like, I will write something about it. I don't know exactly what was the story at that point in time. And so I just signed up. And then I like the part where when I sign up, your thank you page suggested that we do a lot of cleansing, anything that we may have, carried in the past that could be cleansed off. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I would love to participate in that because the first round of my book was an introduction to not just writing the book, the story and my life and what I could teach, but it was also a spiritual journey of healing from the inside out. And when that came through, I went away and I had time and I was actually shouldn't do this, but I rode a bike at the time and I did some of the meditation. I didn't know that was so deep, but it is what it is. I thought I'll just go for a ride because I was still in and out of lockdown last year and just wanted to maximize time.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
Oh, yeah. So that's how it started.
And then you reach out to me one day on Voxer. We're connected on Voxer, and you said, "You know what? I think I want to lead a book." We had, about the same time as we connected last year, I had put it out, I want to have book partners, people who create the theme, the title, the subtitle, they help design the cover, and they run with the project. And then here you are jumping in my inbox and you're like, "You know what? I think I want to do that." What made you say yes to that and reach out?
So after we launched the book Uncensored, Untamed, Unleashed, then a couple of months between that, there was a program that we worked together called Seahorse Medicine. And it taught me about how to do life and still be wealthy and still earn good money and do good with the money I earned, but don't have to do it with force, push, pressure, and enjoy life. So that was something that sort of gave me the foundation. And then I participated in a book invitation called Transforming Pain into Purpose. And I was part of Brett's podcast. And I thought, I have got a podcast as well. I have over 60 plus episodes. I've got all these stories. How nice would it be if they then let their story be converted into a story that's print? And then also we can reach places that sometimes people don't have podcasts, but books can travel there. And I remember a lot of times, a lot of books come to me in different ways that is quite mysterious. And what if a book can travel? And what if a book can surpass a podcast episode? Because podcast, you have to go through the episodes, but book, if I die today, I have a legacy that I'll leave. But podcast, if I don't pay for the distribution channel, the podcast might go on. That's what I thought, all right, secretly in my head. That was how I processed it. I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe I should really talk about Adriana about that. And that was around April. So I was playing with the idea for a while. We went to visit my in-laws, and usually it's a Sunday, and I was driving down these rolling hills, and I was thinking to myself, my podcast name is Magnetic Abundance. And what if there is, more towards just that title? And so I thought, just ask her, what's the worst that it could be, right? It could be a no, and and then just let it by, that's just life. So I decided to just have a chat around that opportunity. And that's how it came about.
Well, I'm so glad you reached out. And I mean, your theme, your title, your cover, your cover is just absolutely gorgeous. And I love your theme because it's about magnetic abundance, right? And this is the thing. I'm hoping in the last 2 years people are beginning to broaden their definition of abundance, right? To see that we're more than what our bank account is, that, wealth and money is one form of abundance, but there's so many ways that we are abundant. And one of my favorite things to do is to witness nature and just realize, gosh, everything's abundant. We were in the mountains last weekend and there was raspberries forever. We couldn't have picked every raspberry that was there, right? And so when I think of your book, I feel like it's not only expanding each individual that participates, but also in the collective, across the board for society, for us to go, okay, this is what abundance is for me. So what do you feel when you hear the word abundance? Like, what are you hoping from the contributors and from the reader? What can this book expand for us?
When I had launched my third book, Prosperity Codes, it was about abundance. And I wrote that abundance was not limited to finances alone, because all my life I've worked in the banking sector. I would play with money, count money, tens of thousands, invest millions and millions. And I've seen and sat with thousands of clients in my office, and you can have money as a form of abundance, but a lot of times their relationship, their health, their emotional health or physical health are failing. And I know that that's because there is not enough examples out there to demonstrate that abundance is beyond financial wealth, and that abundance is also every aspect to do with your spiritual walk, your health, your physical aspect, your relationship with others, the way you work with your most aligned clients. And I wanted this book to demonstrate that it is possible to have it all, and that if we redefine abundance for ourselves and see that work differently, it is possible for everyone to experience that now. It is not something distant. And so when I wrote that chapter under my third book, Prosperity Codes, that also is a runway leading to this topic on magnetic abundance. And why it's magnetic is because we pull it to us, we draw it to us. Anything that's done out of force, push, trying to convince doesn't last. And why I say it doesn't last is because in my corporate career, everything come round a cycle. You can, do it in that way. And what I have done towards the tail end of my career was we had to refund all the clients that we didn't do right with, because it was done in that method of force, push, convincing. And so I've seen and witnessed a full cycle of 2 decades of that I wanted to invite people to reconsider and re-evaluate what is possible out there, because the world tells us one side of the story, but I want to offer there is another side of the story. There's 2 sides of the coin.
Yes, absolutely. And I find with titles like this, it's so easy for people to go, oh, well, I'm not abundant enough to write about it in a book, or I'm not, I haven't reached all my goals yet. And so what happens is we stop ourselves because we haven't reached that mountaintop or that, right? And the question is always like, well, when are you abundant enough to write about it, right? Or actually, is this a great time to pause and to realize how abundant you are in order to keep that flowing, right? So what would you say to the person who says, I don't think I'm abundant enough to be in a book about abundance?
So here's my invitation. When you start writing, you create your future. When you put pen to paper, you craft your vision ahead of you. And so let this number one be a step forward. If you have not felt about it, I promise you, when you start writing about it, you cast the right spell into your future, because spelling is about casting spell, right? And so why not cast the good spell? And you're coming and you're amongst, people who support you, who will embrace you, who will champion you through this journey. And we all come a journey. And then start with connecting with nature, connecting with, what is available to us, the sunset, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink every single day. We are water content of 65%. And so a lot of just elements of abundance that's already very present. And when we are connected to it, we begin to open our eye to see that it's available for us. And when it's available for us, you see things from a different perspective. You become the lighthouse that shines differently. You become the person that attracts rather than, trying to force and push and make things happen. But what if you become that magnetic abundance individual that truly just draws people into your world, like the lighthouse? So, yeah.
Yes. So beautiful. And speaking of, coming into a group of people who are supporting you and cheering you on, one of the things that we do in our books is the book naturally becomes an author referral circle. And actually all the books come together in these twice a month meetings. Now, I know because of your background that working by referral is just built in and you were expected to have a certain percentage of your clients come through referral. It was built into me because I built my business through BNI in the olden golden days, 7 a.m. breakfast every Tuesday. But for a lot of people online, I realized that working by referral, receiving referrals, giving referrals, having power partners that are always, promoting each other's offers, this is not well known by everyone. So what has your experience been?
So what I've noticed is in my corporate lifetime, I had 25% of my metrics is to really refer business within the organization. And then I would invite all my direct reports to go out and meet people because it's through relationship that we built, business. And before that, there was no Instagram or
Right.
LinkedIn or Facebook. I'm like, that's how people do business. Word of mouth. You have coffee chats, and then people go, yeah, I'm giving you 30,000, 400,000, 1.5 million to invest. I'm like, there is no social proof for like testimonial or anything through Instagram, really. Like, that's how I got my business. Like, I got one of my largest clients, $37.5 million. I met her 3 times. She didn't look for any of my past social proof per se. She's like, yeah, you know what? Let's do business. It's through the conversation. The trust is where it's centered around. That people, when they trust you, they will do business with you.
Yes.
And so that was how we draw on business. And so when I started doing online business, during COVID, it's a new concept because the online world needs a lot of showing up, social proof, lots of sales pages, and lots of different other things to support why we work with someone. Yes, that's all good, and that's the way we evolve to. But I also want to invite people to go, what if you have referral partners that is there to support you? I'll give you a couple of examples. Through the Uncensored, Untamed, Unleashed book that we had launched in December, and then we embarked on a referral year-long circle, I've got more podcast invitation. I was invited to speak in summits. I was invited to speak in other global summits that someone else knew and then sent that invitation through that network. And then there is other, supporting each other through email listing, email each other's list to promote someone else's summit. Like, that is such a nourishing, wholesome, soulful group to be part of because it has been established through that like-minded thinking style already. So when you come on board today, you have already exponentially grown your network by 110 people because there is Uncensored, Untamed, Unleashed, Sacred Redesign, Transforming Pain into Purpose, and there's few other books already, and we meet twice a month. So you can imagine your network naturally, exponentially compounded. And when you build those relationships, it's a magical journey because everyone came with the same mindset that they want to support each other. So like anything, right, karma, once you give out, things come back in another way. And that's my invitation to go, why not come to a group like that?
Yeah, it's so true. It's amazing. In fact, today someone, from one of my referral circles said, listen, I'll promote your upcoming event. She's going to post it on social media. It's a completely different way of doing business. And I always come back like, that's rule number 1. Don't do business alone. Don't promote alone. Don't sell alone. Like, what percentage of your clientele could come through referral partners, right? That you didn't personally sell. And I'm hoping that as we exercise and practice this and master it twice a month, that it becomes the norm where collaboration is built into the fabric of every single person's business, because it's a lot more fun to do business that way. And I think you arrive at your best ideas, your best offers when you're not working in a vacuum. So, Jocelyn, what can people do? How can they reach out to you if they want to be in your Magnetic Abundance book? What shall they do
So
next?
you can find me on Facebook and just DM me on Messenger. Hey, you know what? I'm interested to know more about magnetic abundance. You can find me on Instagram as well, _ Jocelyn Chong _ and I'm on LinkedIn. I am present in Facebook every single day. I've got something to share because of the network of things that I've come into contact with. So I'm there Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday is a sacred time for family that I don't post or I rarely do. And yeah, but find me there. And then Instagram as well. I am responsive. I am nice. And I don't bite and I have a conversation with you. And, I hope that this sparks an opportunity that you reconsider because it's something that will change your life forever. Being a published author has changed my life forever. And I know that because I carry that surpasses my tombstone. And I will leave a very strong legacy. And I want you to do the same as well.
Absolutely. I can tell you, Jocelyn is one of the most incredible people I've met. And you're as real as they come. I just feel like when we finally meet in person, it's going to be like, oh yeah, we've done this 100 times, because with Jocelyn, what you see is what you get. And I know you'll have a great experience and she'll take good care of you. So be sure and reach out to Jocelyn. We'd love to feature your story in Magnetic Abundance. And today is a great day to remember how blessed and abundant we are. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for taking betting on yourself, saying yes to yourself, and then inviting others into this. It's like you have taken this further than most people would. Like, you shared your story and then you wanted to create a way for others to share their story. So thank you for being such an incredible leader.
Thank you so much, Adriana. I really appreciate you and love all that you do for us. You are such a blessing and a ray of sunshine.
Thank you. So reach out to Jocelyn, and until next time, here's to your story.